In just 34 days, BTS's golden maknae, Jungkook, will complete his mandatory military service, with his discharge date set for June 11, 2025. Fans worldwide are eagerly anticipating his return, yet BigHit Music, the agency behind BTS, has remained notably silent. This lack of acknowledgement has sparked speculation. Could Jungkook be considering a departure from BigHit? The silence from BigHit is particularly striking given Jungkook's significant contributions to the group's success. His solo debut album, Golden, released prior to his enlistment, garnered immense popularity, with tracks like 7 and Standing Next to You achieving impressive streaming numbers. Despite this, BigHit's recent promotions have seemingly overlooked Jungkook's achievements, leading to fan-led trends like Jungkook Leave HYB on social media platforms. Adding to the intrigue, rumors have circulated about Jungkook potentially planning a solo world tour post-discharge, ahead of any group reunion. While no official announcements have been made, the speculation underscores the uncertainty surrounding his future with BigHit. The Times of India, moreover, while BigHit confirmed in September 2023 that BTS members would renew their contracts sequentially, considering their military service schedules, the lack of specific updates regarding Jungkook's contract status further fuels questions about his intentions. As the countdown to Jungkook's discharge continues, fans are left wondering, will he rejoin BTS under BigHit's management, or is he charting a new path? The agency's continued silence only deepens the mystery, leaving the ARMY community in suspense. The clock is ticking. 34 days. That's all that remains before Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS and arguably the most globalized face of the group in recent years, steps back into civilian life. But while fans across the world prepare to light up social media with countdowns, art, and tears of joy, a haunting silence is growing in a place you'd least expect it, his own agency. Where's BigHit's voice? Where are the commemorative videos? The nostalgic montages of Golden Maknae's growth? Where is the campaign that would naturally be expected from a company that profited immensely from Jungkook's artistry and reach? That silence is not just suspicious. It's deafening in an industry where timing is everything and every move is calculated for public perception. BigHit's passivity feels deliberate. This isn't just an oversight, it's a statement. Or perhaps a prelude to one. But what kind of message is being sent when a company known for its polished image and strategic promotion stays silent at such a crucial turning point in an artist's life? Could it be that Jungkook has already made his decision? Fans have begun to notice more than just silence. In forums, in tweets, in reaction videos, it's all being said without being said. He's distancing himself, they whisper. He's setting up for something solo. And they might not be wrong. Before enlistment, Jungkook's actions spoke volumes. He stepped out boldly with Golden, a solo debut that didn't merely follow the blueprint of a BTS member's solo, it rewrote it. From high-production performances on global stages to viral interviews in English-speaking media, Jungkook didn't just release music. He established a brand. And that brand felt, in more ways than one, like a separate entity from BTS. Now, with his return looming, the question that once seemed impossible to ask suddenly feels urgent. Is Jungkook preparing to leave BigHit and BTS for good? At the center of the speculation is not animosity, but evolution. Jungkook has always been known as the Golden One, talented in vocals, dance, production, and even visuals. But what if Golden no longer fits within the BTS framework? What if it outshines it? Military service changes people. It instills a different kind of discipline, reflection, and sometimes a radical reevaluation of one's life trajectory. Jungkook has always been intensely introspective, even from his teenage years. Could his time in uniform have helped him realize that his true path lies not in group dependency, but in creative autonomy? The signs are there. The tone of his pre-enlistment interviews was cautious, but deliberate. His thank you-s felt personal, not rehearsed. His I'll be back-s never clearly said where. He said he would return, but didn't say to what. That ambiguity now feels less like a poetic goodbye and more like a careful planting of seeds. And here's where things get even more intriguing. Behind-the-scenes murmurs within the entertainment industry suggest that multiple global agencies, including those in the US, have had quiet interest in Jungkook since his solo breakout. With international success under his belt, including chart dominance on Billboard, collaborations with Western producers, and a digital presence that dwarfs even some of the most seasoned pop stars, Jungkook is no longer just a K-pop idol. He is a global commodity. So if BigHit isn't speaking, could it be because they no longer can? Or worse, because Jungkook has already decided not to renew. Let's not forget the timing. The end of military service is not just a return to public life. It's often a turning point for artists under long-term contracts. It's the clean slate moment. A moment when one can choose to stay loyal or pivot for growth. BigHit knows this. Fans know this. And Jungkook? He's always been a visionary. What could be more telling than an agency's silence during one of the most anticipated returns of the decade? Now, let's talk about the fans, the ARMY. Historically, the most loyal fandom in modern music. But even they are asking questions they never dreamed they'd need to ask. Questions like, will we see Jungkook on the same stage as the other 6 again? If he leaves BigHit, can BTS survive the loss of its youngest member? What if Jungkook never intended to return to group promotions in the first place? The emotional impact of these questions is profound. To many, BTS is not just a band. It's a belief system, a movement. The idea that one member might step away, not out of betrayal but out of self-preservation and growth, is difficult to reconcile. Yet, we've seen this before, haven't we? From G-Dragon to Taemin, the solo journey is one riddled with hard decisions and uncertain paths. But for Jungkook, whose every breath in the spotlight has been under a microscope since age 15, the idea of finally walking a path he chooses must be equally terrifying and liberating. And that brings us back to the ultimate mystery. Why is BigHit so quiet? Is it strategy? Denial? Or damage control in advance? Maybe they're waiting for the perfect moment to speak. Maybe they're hoping the noise fades. But the world is watching. The countdown isn't just for Jungkook's return. It's a countdown to a choice. A moment where, for perhaps the first time in over a decade, Jungkook can define himself not as part of something, but as something. 34 days. The industry waits. The fans refresh. And BigHit remains mute. But when Jungkook steps out of that gate, head held high, badge removed, uniform folded away, what happens next could define not only his career, but the future of BTS as we know it. The silence is no longer just suspicious. It's strategic. And for many watching this unfold, the reality is dawning slowly and painfully. Jungkook's departure from BigHit might not be a rumor. It might be a plan long in motion. The agency's uncharacteristic quietness isn't just a failure to promote or a misstep in PR. In the world of K-pop, where every comeback teaser and member update is orchestrated with the precision of a military operation, silence this loud is calculated. It means one of two things. Either BigHit is planning a surprise that will rewrite expectations, or they're bracing for the blow of letting go of their brightest star. And what a star he is! Jungkook is no longer just a member of BTS. He is a global name. He is the most followed K-pop male artist on Instagram, the first Korean soloist to headline major Western festivals, the voice behind some of the most streamed tracks in K-pop history. With 7, he proved he didn't need a group behind him to break records. With Standing Next to You, he demonstrated a performance caliber that stood shoulder to shoulder with Western legends. SOY Now is the very company that built him seeming to dim his light. Whispers within the fan community are turning into a movement. #ProtectJungkook has trended more than once. Fans have noticed inconsistencies, like the lack of solo promotion compared to other members, or the minimal support for his achievements post-enlistment. Even when Jungkook made history, BigHit's praise felt tepid, formal, detached. It's as if the relationship had already begun to unravel long before the uniform ever went on. Let's dig deeper. The timing is crucial. Jungkook, as a conscripted soldier, is largely out of the public eye. He isn't tweeting, live streaming, or appearing on magazine covers. That distance gives him power. It gives him freedom. For once in his life, there's no camera tracking his steps. No spotlight forcing a smile. No agency behind the curtain pulling the strings. And in that silence, Jungkook is doing something he's never truly had the time to do. Think, reflect, decide. Imagine the thoughts that must run through his mind at night. Standing guard beneath the stars, remembering the stages he stood on. The moments when he was just 15 and left home to become a trainee. The years of pressure, the burnout, the cheers, the expectations. Wouldn't anyone, even someone as devoted as Jungkook, begin to wonder, who am I when the noise fades, when the cheering stops, and all that remains is your own voice, your own dream? What then? He's never had a chance to find out. Until now, when we say 34 days left, what we're really saying is this. 34 days until Jungkook gets to choose. Not what song to perform, or what city to tour, but who to be And that choice is terrifying for him, for BTS, for BigHit. Because Jungkook is no longer a kid with a dream. He is the dream realized. And dreams like him don't stay caged for long. Imagine this. June 11th arrives. Cameras flash. Crowds roar. Jungkook steps out in civilian clothes, his hair grown slightly longer, his smile different. Not stage ready, but real. He looks at the fans waiting. Then he looks at the horizon, and he walks, not into a van marked by BigHit staff, not toward a studio filled with old managers, but into a car he arranged himself. To a destination no one knows. Because maybe, just maybe, he isn't going back, he's going forward. Forward to a new label? Perhaps. A Western management agency?
Could be.
Or maybe he's establishing something entirely his own. A brand, a movement, an independent label that lets him create music on his terms, not under the shadows of obligations or contract fine print. And what about BTS? The heartbreak would be enormous. But it wouldn't be the end. Jungkook's departure wouldn't mean the death of BTS. It could mean its rebirth. A chance for the group to evolve, to mature, to reunite as 7 individuals who've chosen to stand together, not who are bound by company. After all, BTS has always been more than a product. It's a promise, but promises, like people, must grow. And here's a twist. What if BigHit is silent because they want the buzz? What if this is reverse psychology, an orchestrated mystery meant to inflate suspense, to let speculation spread, so that when Jungkook does announce something, anything, it breaks the internet? But if that's the case, they're playing a dangerous game. Because this isn't just PR. This is Jungkook's life, his career, his moment, and fans are tired of guessing. They want clarity. They want loyalty returned with loyalty. They want to know, when Jungkook walks free, is he walking toward a new beginning with BigHit, or walking away forever? For now, the silence stretches, and Jungkook, somewhere in his base, training, marching, standing still, knows what we all know. The world is waiting, and so, the most important countdown in modern K-pop history continues. 34 days.